Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to BTS2. We've got WPC Ace coverage for y'all tonight, and oh boy, do we have some good ones. 3 best of 2s coming up, and up first is IG versus LGD. I'm Zyori, and here is What is Hip. What's the good word, Greg?
Well, I just woke up from a nap. That's a pretty good word.
Samesies, yeah,
Oh,
feeling
we had
fresh.
some night naps.
Yes.
This is how it goes now.
Completely nocturnal.
We're
SEA
completely
qualifiers.
nocturnal at this point.
Yeah, they were starting at 9 p.m. and this is starting at midnight, so just slept in today a little bit.
Slept in, ready to go, but we've got some good games on our hands. And you know, speaking of the qualifiers, a lot of these teams are going to be playing in the qualifiers. They're going to be watching tonight, so hopefully we'll get a little bit of insight into how they're going to be playing.
Our first series has IG, who of course were a direct invite, but our second series has DT versus LGD, and then our last series is HGT versus CIS. So.
Yeah.
4 teams that will be in the qualifier, and will certainly be interesting to see how they fare. We can go ahead and look at the draft here. We've got our beautiful WPC Ace overlays with our video feed of the players' heads. And, well, Greg, is this actually the first time you and I have cast together? Is that
We did that El Padrino thing a couple weeks ago.
Oh, right, El Padrino. How could I forget about El Padrino?
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was a good time, but I think this is the first time for us here.
Yeah, definitely in person. So this will be exciting. I'm actually not quite up to stuff on my WPC recently. I haven't had the privilege of casting it in the last 2 weeks or so.
Well, let's see if I can figure out exactly what's going on here.
Let's see if I can figure it out. All right.
All right, so Vici is currently in the lead, first place, 27 points. They're undefeated, haven't lost a game, and behind them, well, they have lost games. They have not lost the whole best of 2 series.
Okay.
So they have 3 draws. Newbie second, Titan third, DK fourth, IG is in 5th at the moment, and LGD all the way down in 8th.
Yeah, but the thing I don't like about the WPC standings is it doesn't really factor in how many games have been played so far in terms of the ranking. So it looks like most of the teams tonight are right in the middle of the pack, about half of their games played, I believe. So still a lot of wiggle room. IG in 5th at the moment. With only 14 games played, DT actually in 6th. I believe IG are pretty heavy favorites coming in here. Dota 2 Lounge bets were something like 75-25 in favor of IG, and I don't think that is too surprising. Invoker first pick for LGD. They grabbed the Treant Protector with their second, and it is a Mirana Dazzle opener from Ol Invictus Gaming there.
Yeah, and, well, we've seen a lot of Invoker lately, and I'm actually a little surprised to see the Treant. I guess, you know, previously it seemed like Treant wasn't really something that the Eastern teams were really interested in, but they've probably seen the results, and Treant has been really successful through the TI qualifiers so far, and he's just got a really great toolbox. I mean, he has Invis, he can be your mobile ward, figure out exactly where things are, break up smoke ganks. Really nice when you're trying to Roche and trying to protect that, breaks up their smoke. And then obviously you've got Leech Seed, one of his most powerful ganking abilities. Can run people down, punch them. He's a puncher, man. I don't know what else to say to Treant.
Yeah, he's a natural-born boxer. He branches hard in the early levels, that's for sure. We haven't seen too much Tree, at least not in the few weeks prior when I was doing my WPC coverage. And I think they've learned the ways of the Tree and how irritating he can be. The Dazzle second pick is almost a little more interesting, I think. Still plenty of room to grab something to pair with that Mirana. Your Shadow Demon as well as your Bane are still in the pool, but I know how little these teams pick the Bane Elemental. Dragonite will be the 3rd choice for IG. Doom as well as OD were their 3rd and 4th bans, and LGD ban out Axe as well as Lifestealer. The Axe ban is a little surprising, mostly because they're against a Dazzle, and that's one of those heroes that Axe is considered a counter to.
Yeah, and just looking through the bans here, LGD have banned out the Ancient Apparition. He's still seeing a ton of play in the Eastern scene. A lot of teams still really like him, and what he brings to tri-lanes, aggressive or defensive, just so much extra damage, especially when you've got some ranged heroes, and makes it very easy to connect. So he is banned out in the 1st round. The 2nd round, and that Axe ban, though, man.
Yeah, gotta see some respect, I suppose. I do really like the 3rd pick Dragonite from IG, a hero that works really well against the living armor of Treant. The corrosive breath dot of the dragon form just cuts right through it like butter. And he won't be able to keep towers alive too easily through. They also have Dazzle to deal with the living armor on heroes, of course, through that poison touch damage over time. So they're pretty well equipped to deal with that usually pesky support. And this season of WPC, Dragonite, ooh, wow, he's been picked 7 times, and That's 57% win rate, 4-3. That sounds about right. I like Dragon Knight right now. I think he's in a good place. Dragon Man.
Yeah, I think so. He's been very popular, and really it's just because of the way that Dota's being played right now. It has nothing really to do with, you know, he's like OP or anything, but he's really nice on teams that you just want to ball up, push down lanes, kill people under their tower.
Yeah.
He's got a ton of HP, especially the new popular build is you go treads. Sometimes you even get a bracer, and then you go straight for BKB. You get the Ogre Club, and you have like 12 or 1300 HP extremely early. And honestly, it makes him pretty brutal to deal with.
Yeah, well, speaking of that tank ability, probably part of the reason that LGD have grabbed a Timber Saw with their 3rd pick. Whirling Death works wonders against the tanky Dragon Knight, but they'll need a little bit more than that to completely shut him down. And we'll see what IG want to do with their 3rd pick here. They'll need probably a 2nd support. One thing to keep in mind is that these Chinese teams do not fear running Mirana as a support or actually a hard carry. We've seen a little bit of support Mirana out there in the West, but over here in the East, support Mirana really is a thing.
I've seen a lot of the Korean teams as well, and it just seems like they're willing to take the risk because, at least in my opinion, when you run the support Mirana, you're really relying on the fact that you are going to hit a couple of arrows, because if not, you sort of just walk around, you don't get any levels, it's not like you're farming for a Midas or something, and if you miss those arrows, you don't get those kills, you can be in a lot of trouble. So they do have some decent setup with Dragon Tail, they have Fisher now as well, and that should be enough if this is going to be a support, but it looks like it's probably going to be core.
Yeah, absolutely. With the Earthshaker Dazzle, probably their position 1 hero, decent arrow setup. They could go aggressive try if they were so interested, but they could defensive try as well if they just want to secure that Mirana's farm and give the Earthshaker Dazzle free run of the jungle, roam around, and see if they can pick on those other lanes. Lichy will be the 4th pick here for LGD to go with their Treant, Timbersaw, and Invoker. Not particularly crazy about this support duo. Overgrowth and Chain Frost can be nice if used in tandem, but rarely do you get that setup where you can get a really clutch Chain Frost while everyone's rooted in the ground. They both have their strong points. Of course, they can both buff up the towers with the new changes to Frost Armor and Living Armor, but
oh god,
they lack control.
Hardest towers to kill ever.
Yeah.
Frost Armor and Living Armor.
Yeah, I mean, it's something, but I don't know. I haven't seen this strategy be particularly potent, especially against the Dragon Knight. I think he'll be able to kind of cut through all the buffs they'll be able to put up, especially if Mirana's in position 1. She'll be able to farm up a Desolator fairly easily. I don't know. Just two supports that really lack control, and aside from Leech Seed, there isn't really too much ganking that these two can bring out.
And there's very noticeably no hard stun. Obviously, you've got a mini stun in Chain Frost, but I think this Treant needs to play a little bit aggressively. I think he's going to need to leave his lane, try to gank. They have the Lich, so it makes it pretty safe for him to leave. He can just keep sacrificing, pulling the wave back. It's not like I don't think they're going to be under a lot of pressure. I think we're just going to see two defensive tri-lanes here, but like you said, there's a seriously notable lack of stuns here. They don't really have anything. If Invictus do decide to go aggro, they have no stuns to stop them from just running at them.
Yeah, exactly. And Lich is a really good hero in terms of the experience he can deny with sacrifice. But if you can see deaths in that lane and you give the opponent still pretty much uncontested free farm aside from the creeps that have been denied, it's just not that impactful. Yeah, Lich can get some experience, but really hard for him to kind of ball out of control like other supports such as Dazzle and Earthshaker. It will be a Viper 5th pick for Invictus Gaming. So it looks like that will be probably their tri-lane hero. Looks more likely to be an off-lane Mirana than it will be Dragon Knight in the mid. So a nice well-rounded roster for IG. Another damage over time to deal with that living armor. And just all around pretty solid. The slow from Viper, I think, will be pretty potent here in this game.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty torn on Viper.
I know Fear hates it.
Yeah, there's a lot of players who really hate that hero. And I don't know. I think he's good against some lineups. This isn't one I would be like, man, a Viper would really serve them well here. It's not like there's a Naix on the other side or something like that. Because really, what's your item build on that hero? You go mech Ags pretty much every single time. So you're looking to use that Viper Strike and make a big difference with it. Against Brewmaster, Viper Strike is like okay, but he's going to have a Blink Dagger and get into position anyway. Yeah. And against an Invoker, it's not particularly good. I don't know. I'm I don't love this.
Yeah, I think Brew will have an okay time here. The Timbersaw, still a really good pick. We'll end up doing a lot of damage, but Brew does not help their lack of stuns in a particularly meaningful way. He'll be able to hurl some boulders around. I suppose that's something, but at the end of the day, they are still really low on crowd controls on the Radiant side. Let's get some Dota sounds up in the mix here, Greg, and we are moving into Game 1 of this best-of-2 series between LGD and IG in the WPC 2014 rather, regular season. Let's get into it. Let's introduce our Radiant roster, though. We've got LGD. DD going to be playing on the Treant Protector. He'll be joined by Lin on the Invoker here. Will be Rabbit on the Brewmaster. DDC playing on the Lich, and of course, Tau on Timbersaw.
Yeah, and, well, I'm having some perfect world issues, so we're going to try to sort those out. But on the other sides of things, for IG, we have Luau on the Mirana, on the Earthshaker, styling the new set, and there's been a lot of talk about this set on the couch, mostly because we've got some dirty sellouts on the couch. It's Chuan. He's going to be on the Earthshaker. In the mid lane, it's Ferrari 430 on the Dragon Knight. Faith going to be playing the Dazzle, and up in the top lane, YYF on the Viper. So one position Viper.
Yeah, very
See
interesting.
if that works out for him.
Yeah, I like that they don't put him mid and try and do a tri-lane with the Dragon Knight. We've seen a couple teams in the East try and do some trickery such as that, and I think Dragon Knight just a little bit better suited for the mid lane. If you have to choose between the two, Viper can thrive in that safe lane just a little bit easier. Dragon Knight also benefits a lot more from the bottle crowing, spamming that Breathe Fire. Chuan does pick up the first rune. It is a haste, harassing the tree just a little bit, but will be a-okay. Tree starting boots first. No point in Leech Seed quite yet, but this is the Whomping Willow opener here, at least with the boots, and you can try and chase people down and make it happen, Captain.
Yeah, this makes me confident that he's going to rotate out of lane and try to get some kills. You don't go boots first here if you are planning on just sitting in lane, supporting, dropping living armor on people. This means that, hopefully at least, he is going to be moving aggressively. And
uh-oh, Lin in trouble already. Fissure connects, and the arrow does as well. Living armor comes out, so, well, that proves you wrong, Greg. He has to skill it up level 1, and that will harbor some of his early aggression that he can put out. Nice setup, though, from Invictus Gaming, and actually the Invoker starting boots first as well. First point in Quas. Still don't know what he's going to commit to, but double boots first opener from LGD here in their safe lane.
yeah, and I really like this side lane Invoker. I think it can provide a lot of extra damage because it's pretty easy for him to farm up the Midas and move along into some bigger items. He's not going to get a lot of pressure like he maybe would from Dragon Knight in the mid lane. He is going to have to obviously be careful with the Earthshaker arrow combo, which he's already unpleasantly had to deal with.
Are you still unable to connect to the game?
Dude, I'm working on it. I had restarted Dota.
All right, well, at least we've got my screen going on here. And I think I introduced the Timbersaw. I think I said Tau. Of course, it's Yao. I'm so sorry. There are just too many. It's a hard name to read, and the blue and the color blindness, all of it mixed together. I whiffed that one a little, so I'll redeem myself here. Anyway, mid lane, looking to be a pretty even exchange. Ferrari 430, 8-0, and 7-2 here on Rabbit's Brewmaster. So kind of a farm fest in the mid lane, as it should be. Looks like Greg's finally made it into the game, so all right, now we can get that competitive insight thrive. Chuan camping out the bottom rune. It is a double damage here at the 2-minute mark, and he actually will not pick it up, just keeps it safe for his buddy Ferrari, and DK will bottle it up, then head back towards the mid.
A little weird that DDC is in this top lane still. I think Timbersaw would benefit a bit more from the solo experience, and it's not like there's a ton of stuns here to stop him from just timber chaining away when he finally does get a level in that. So I think once we have a level in timber chain, DDC might go elsewhere. It's possible he sticks around, but I don't really see a reason for them to have a dual lane top when, maybe they can use him, pull the creeps back bottom, and then have this tree go roam, because he still hasn't really left the lane. Makes me sad.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I think they want to prioritize shutting down the Viper, as he will be more of a threat in the mid-game compared to the Mirana, but I don't know. It's one of these games where Lich doesn't really have a great home. The duo lanes from IG, Neither of these slots are really ideal. If it's a 3v2 down bottom, Tree and Lich, you'd really want to be able to secure a kill to win this lane, and they won't be able to do not particularly aggressive support, so the top is not a bad place for him to be. Already, Lich will rotate out, though, as you suggested. Sitting level 3, goes that second point in Frost Blast, and, well, you never know. Maybe Lich will try and get a little aggressive here as he roams around towards the mid. Dragon Knight, not an easy target, though.
Not an easy target, but Ferrari is playing really up. He just had a double damage rune, which gave him a little bit of CS, and they're going to drop Frost Blast on him now as well, so he has to be a bit more careful in this lane. You can put out a lot of damage with Clap, and even though DK is a particularly tanky hero, you still need to be careful of that, because it's a pretty large slow as well, so if you get crit a couple times, you could pretty easily die.
Yeah, so just harassing, and as we see, Lich really doesn't have a good home
Yeah,
here.
he does not have a home.
Roams back up top. He started boots as well, and now 4 minute thinking about trying to camp out the rune. Doesn't even go for that. It is a haste in the top position. Lich pings it out, and Rabbit will walk up, fill up his bottle this time around. So even rune control pretty even in this opener. Very small farming edge going the way of LGD. Is some of that because of the Lich. He steals that experience, but we've got a quiet early game on our hands, and really none of these lanes pulling away quite yet. Still a fairly even trade. Viper 16-2 against the 13-2 Timbersaw, so he's having a pretty darn good time up top as well. Ferrari getting dove in the mid. That haste rune from Rabbit coming in handy, and the living armor letting him dive that tower safely. First blood comes out. It is Rabbit to secure it. Not much that the Earthshaker could do to keep his buddy Dragon Knight alive.
He dropped a Fisher down when they were running at him, so he did his best to try to stop that, but there wasn't really a way to block it. Haste rune on Rabbit, it makes that extremely difficult to stop, and man, those 2 and 4 minute haste runes are pretty brutal.
Yeah, pretty much ideal for the Brewmaster in that scenario. Nothing that DK could do. He tried to fog in the trees, handled himself well, but
yeah, he made a good effort. And bottom lane, Linus looks like he's going to settle in with a Wex build. He's already picked up phase boots. I haven't seen a Wex side lane invoker in a while. Yeah. He's going to be building most likely straight towards an Orchid, and then you just use the levels that you get to just roam around the jungle with Ghost Walk and try to pick people off. And he's got some good targets, to be honest. I mean, Dazzle is pretty easy to kill with an Orchid. So is Mirana. Earthshaker even easy to kill as well.
Yeah, Orchid a great tempo controlling item, and some crowd control that LGD much need in this game. I'm glad to see him going for the Wex build. Tornado will give them some much needed setup as well coming into this mid game to try and deal with IG's death ball that we were talking about. This side lane Mirana looks like she might be pulling up for a fast Vitus. 1,300 gold on her right now. Still hasn't bought anything. Hasn't even upgraded to the Ring of Basilius yet. And I think that's not a bad choice. She'll be able to recover pretty well and turn into that semi-carry Mirana and make a decent recovery in terms of golden experience farm. Chuan camping out that top rune. It does spawn bottom this time. An illusion. And neither side will go for it quite yet. DK has now hit level 6 though and already chipping at this tower. That corrosive breath dot is just so irritating, Greg. Look how fast this tower gets chunked down.
Yeah, and they're going to use the living armor here to try to stop the progress of the dot, but it's kind of a losing battle for the Treant against the Dragon Knight. Eventually that tower is going to go down. Probably not in this dragon form, but most definitely in the next one. Or, you know, if Brewmaster does decide to leave at any point, he is level 6 now. It looks like he's farming straight for the Blink Dagger to get that Prime Initiation, and not surprising, this is the build we've been seeing through the qualifiers, but man, this Mirana build, 4 branches, and looks like it is going to actually just be Boots Bottle. A little surprised.
Yeah.
I definitely thought she was also going to go for a Midas.
Yeah, would have thought pulling up the gold like that, she'd grab one big item.
Yeah, she would think she was probably considering it and then realizing how long it might take, but it seems like she was on pretty good track for like an 8 or 9 minute Midas.
Yeah, her CS is on par with the Timbersaw, and it's really not too shabby, sitting at 19 here at the 7 minute mark, considering she's been solo for quite a while in this game. I'd say that's darn tootin'. LGD setting up a gank here in the mid. They want Ferrari, but these two supports, I just don't think they can do it. 2 points in Leech Seed, 2 points in the Frost Blast. Yeah, they've got a lot of slow power, but at the end of the day, it's still a Dragon Knight. It still has now has a point in the Dragon Tail
as well.
He's pretty beefy, and they just don't have a huge amount of damage. Brew, of course, is level 8, has that primal split, so that will assist, but these supports are just wasting so much time. They camp out about the high ground, end up recognizing they're not going to find a gank there, rotate towards the top, but again, same story, different chapter. Here's a Dazzle with Shallow Grave picked up already, 2 points in the heal, and a Viper who's about to hit level 6 with at least that first point in Corrosive Skin. Not an easy gank no matter how you look at it. You don't have any stuns to stop the Dazzle from getting off the grave, and, well, we'll see how it works out for him here. Leech Seed as well as Chakra come out on YYF. He gets healed up. Fisher comes onto DD. He's stuck in the trees. They'll be able to zone out the forces of IG. Out comes the Viper slow. He finally hits level 6. gets the Viper strike, but does get hit by the EMP from the Invoker. Moonlight Shadow keeps them alive. Heal from Dazzle as well. Instrumental in Viper's survival. Now Ferrari coming in. Does have an Elder Dragon form available. 4 points in the Breathe Fire. Wow, this is a full 5-man rotation from LGD. Rabbit blinks over, misses the Thunderclap, thinking there's someone hiding in the trees. Takes a level 2 Poison Touch from the Dazzle.
Yeah, he's pretty slow. Wears off for the most part now, and he took a lot of damage from that, though. He does have ulti. He has Bottle as well. He's going to use that Bottle up. He's got the DD. He can blink in here, get a pretty large crit off, and then go into his ult. But the ult's not actually that great in 5v5 fights because you can just kill the Fire Panda really fast. But he's going to go for it.
Wow, they smoke as well. He reveals it, pops the ultimate, drops the stun onto Ferrari. There's your Fissure coming out. That slows the reinforcements from LGD. Tornado comes in, doesn't connect with anyone. That was the Panda Tornado on Faith. He will still fall. They've got plenty of damage to bring him down. Mirana's now TP'd in, and they want vengeance for their fallen comrade. Panda will go back into Panda form now. Out comes the stun onto Lin. He falls. Arrow flies through, connects onto Rabbit after the well-placed Fissure. In comes the Starstorm. It's a disaster for LGD. They're falling like flies. DD moves into the trees, but it won't be enough. He doesn't blend in. Oh, it will. He TP's home and still dies in the well as the Viper dot ticks him down. Stun out onto Yao. They'll settle for DDC. Breathe Fire. It's a 1-for-4 exchange. Timbersaw, the lone survivor for LGD.
Really well played by IG there. They were committed to backing off when the Brewmaster came in. I thought maybe they were going to turn around and try to fight him, but they just walk away. The level 1 ultimate is not that long. It's 15 seconds, so they were able to just walk away. They take minimal losses. Then they turn around and reinitiate with their more powerful heroes like Viper and Dragonite. Dragontail is brutal at this stage in the game. Really long stun that you're not really prepared to tank. And with a Viper as well, he's just doing so much damage. He's put 4 points in Nether Toxin, so as soon as you even get a little bit low, he's just going to start killing you.
Yeah, and he's already well on his way to his mech. Has the Buckler to go with the Power Treads and the Ring of Basilius. So rather tanky in these initial levels. And looking at Rabbit, still just sitting on the Blink Dagger, but some much-needed momentum for Invictus Gaming. They were trailing by about 1,500 gold, 1,500 experience. They will zero out the gold lead and actually take the experience edge for the first time in this game. Whoa, look at this, Gregor. Quaswex Invoker going mech after Phase Boots. This is funky coming out of Lin. I have never seen this, I don't think.
So this is like a utility team fight Invoker.
Utility belt Invoker.
I don't know if I love this.
I don't want to judge it yet. He doesn't even have the mech.
They don't have a mech carrier, really, so I guess it's not awful.
Yeah.
But definitely not. I mean, it's not an item that's going to get you an advantage. And in my opinion, at least, it's not an item that really utilizes Invoker's skills well.
Yeah, you know, I think even just that classic utility item of a Force Staff, even if, as Quaswex, is still quite useful. And as you were talking about, the Orchid Rush, really a good item. Can be useful.
Been nice in this.
Yeah, locking down a Mirana before she leaps, locking down the Dazzle before he graves. A lot of utility in this game in particular, and also just helps Invoker with those right clicks. Gives him a little bit of extra damage. And well, we'll see how it works out for him. Interesting item builds from LGD here. Let's take a gander at the net worth. It is actually the Panda up at the top. The only one to be ahead of that 4K mark. Still just sitting on the Blink Dagger. And actually has a Haste Rune bottled up. His ultimate is available, so they may be looking for some kills. LGD are pretty cooldown reliant. Tree still doesn't have Overgrowth. Lich finally hits level 6 and has Chain Frost. And I think anytime they have Chain Frost, Overgrowth, as well as the Primal split up, they should be looking to take a fight and try and pick up a kill, maybe pressure a tower.
Honestly, at this point, with the way they've built their heroes, if they don't win the next team fight, they're probably going to lose the game. Like, they've built the mech on the Invoker. They have a Timbersaw. They now have ultimate on Lich. They're going to have Overgrowth fairly shortly. He's almost level 6. And, oh, they're actually making moves on Mirana. Leech see it as well as the EMP, and she leaps the wrong way. And Blue Owl's going to go... Oh, what a grave!
Dazzle throws out the weave as well. He'll repel. Faith in the right place at the right time. Well used TP scroll. And wow,
that was a great rotation.
Yeah, that was clutch. That was about as close as they come in terms of shallow graves.
Yeah, well that hurts a lot. I mean, that kill would have boosted ahead here, given Treant the level 6, and you know, now they don't have that. And this next team fight, if they try to defend this bottom tower, it looks like IG are pretty willing to just let this one go. And this is one thing I really like about Chinese play right now. They're very decisive about their movements. They don't fart around, man.
Yes, there will be no farting here, Greg. But top tier 1 tower, they should be able to do a lot of damage. They're looking for a tower for tower exchange. And they may wait for the next creep wave and try and take a fight, or they may just back out. Earthshaker not yet level 6, so no dunks on the field. In the bottom lane, DK will actually TP down. The Breathe Fire clips the tree. No, there won't be any follow-up, and everyone will just walk away. Ends up being a bad trade for IG. They hand over a free Tier 1 tower, and now LGD are actually in position to pressure the top Tier 1, and IG have burned a couple of their TPs down towards the bottom lane. So this could actually end up being a 2-for-1. IG making movement towards the bottom Tier 1 tower, but this is a strange play from the Dire side.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised here. Well, it looks like they are going to commit to this bottom tower. They've used Elder Dragon. Well, it's running out, actually. This is kind of sketchy.
Dire's top tower.
Yeah.
Sketcher City. They might catch Rabbit here, but he has ulti.
Dire top tower will fall. His ultimate available, as you mentioned. He's already been slowed up. He's been Viper struck. Throws out the Thunderclap. He'll be okay. Meanwhile, in the bottom, Ferrari, he gets Overgrowth. Now comes the Chain Frost. Dragon Knight, he will fall. Moonlight Shadow, not enough to keep him alive. And the tower is still standing. Living Armor will bring it back up. It's a bloody disaster for IG. It's a 2-for-0 tower exchange and a 1-for-1 in terms not even a 1-for-1. It's just a 1-for-0. They didn't get the brew.
They didn't get anything.
Boy. LGD, look at that's a 3,000 gold swing.
That's not great. I mean, especially because they've got Living Armor, and these towers are going to be healing back up. IG, I think, need to just ball up and push, to be honest. Like, they have a Viper, they have a Dragon Knight. That's what these heroes are made for. He has gone for the Treads, Bracer, Overclub build, so not too surprised to see that. And look at how much HP he has, 1,400.
He's huge.
It's just ridiculous. So I think when you go this build, it's just meant to ball up and push, and maybe he waits for a BKB. It's not particularly... I mean, it's okay. It deals with a lot of damage, but like we're talking about in the draft, it's not like there's a lot of stuns that he really needs to stop. Top lane, though, initiation from Invoker, just going to drain all of Chuan's mana, and that is just the worst when you're the Earthshaker without Arcanes.
Yeah, it really is so difficult to deal with, and, well, they finally have the mech up on the Viper. Perhaps that's what IG were waiting for before grouping up in this Death Ball. The Invoker mech has now been completed. He actually has
a long time.
1,500 gold to his name. Yeah, this bottom tower already back up above half health. Tree is now level 7, so has that 4th point in living armor, and this is where it really heals up towers. Ferrari taking it down, and it will fall, but LGD, they're counter pushing. They want to press in the mid lane, doing a fair bit of damage. It looks like initiation will come in the bottom. They will counter the arrow onto Timbersaw. Rabbit hops forward. Primal split comes. Ferrari looking to TP home. He gets Overgrowth. He will fall to the wrath of the Timbersaw once again as he gets Whirling Death down. Meanwhile, in the mid, the Dazzle, or pardon me, Lich gets finished off by the Earthshaker. So it is a 1-for-1, but still a support for the solo mid, and they still didn't get the tower.
Exactly, and it's not like they got an objective there. And they're about to lose their mid lane tower as well. It's got 33 HP. So honestly, these little split maneuvers by IG are just really not working. I mean, I think they really just need to group up.
Yep. Agreed. The tower in the mid falls. YYF loses all of his mana as an EMP Tornado combo connects. And actually a double damager spawns in the top position. Yeah, odd from IG. The best way to deal with living armor is that 5-man death ball that you've been talking about. All of the right clicks with all of the units just cuts through that living armor. DK does a good job, but he can't do it alone.
Look at this. I mean, top tower is at almost full HP, bottom over half again, and they've used like 2 or 3 Elder Dragon forms. I think they've used 3 now, and just nothing has happened. And like you said, I mean, you just need to ball up and push. Ferrari probably wouldn't have died bottom if there was faith there, and I don't know, man. This is weird play by LGD. Or IG rather. They picked this lineup that's meant to ball up. And I mean, you can even if you just have Viper, Dazzle, and Dragon Knight, that's a really strong pushing duo. You can roam with the Mirana and the Earthshaker, get a pick off to set that up, and then just walk down the lane. And I really don't think that there's much LGD can do. They're going to be taking an EMP, which is a problem. So maybe they have Arcanes now on the Earthshaker, so that doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah, exactly right. The Arcane boosts do make a difference, and Brewmaster now just going straight into an Ags, has his point booster up. Lichy now level 8, has the Urn, and how's old Treant looking? Well, at least has himself some Arcane boots, and wow, 1,700 gold up on him. DD is going to have himself a Blink Dagger before too long. Even this Timbersaw starting to get rather large, has himself some Arcane boots up. Perseverance already in tow, well on his way to a Bloodstone, but with that, IG will move into the mid lane. They'll kill this creep wave, and it's at least a 4-man rotation so far. Maybe they will finally do this death ball we've been complaining about.
Viper should come over. I mean, he's the mech carrier, so if you get that item, you're going to be with your team hopefully when you use it, not just by yourself. Obviously, you get a lot more out of the item, so looks like it's going to be a Maelstrom next for Luau. on the Mirana. Not too surprised to see that. This has just been the de facto item build for Mirana for quite a while. Sometimes you get Midas, but somewhere around there. Smoke in the mid lane, though.
Uh-oh, Ferrari going for the rune. He'll get slowed up, does manage to bottle it up, but at what cost right here? Moonlight Shadow flies. They've got a Sentry Ward down. They'll bring him down easily. And without the Dragon Knight, IG really don't want to fight here. Chuan gets tornadoed, EMP off the mark, but they'll be able to chase him down. Thunderclap connects. They don't have any more detection. And they take him down regardless. Well played by the Timbersaw, throwing the Chakram out. That will be an easy 2-for-0 for the on the Radiant side.
Yeah, and IG just, this is really bizarre. I'm surprised to see it from them. They just seem to be playing right into LGD's team. Like, they're playing into their plan. They're not pushing down. They're not 5-manning. Living Armor is railing them, and they keep walking 1 into 5. This is really bizarre.
Yeah, I really don't understand exactly why they're playing it this way. Mirana chipping away at the tower down bottom, and normally I'd say, oh, that's some great chip damage on the tower, but against Living Armor, this is literally a waste of time. All that damage that Lil will put on the tower is just going to be healed up, and he'll be zoned out as the brew comes down. They need to check themselves before they wreck themselves here.
Yeah, I'm there, man. I really don't get this.
Well, up top, Viper's chipping away at this tower. I think this will be the same story and a different chapter once again. We're about on chapter 8 at this point. LGD will rotate in. Tower gets down to 300 health, and deja vu all over again, Gregor. I've seen this one before, and I know how it ends with this tower back up to full HP.
The good news is that there are 2 of them now. But look, bottom tower. Dude, Living Armor is such a busted ability.
It's good. It's busted up.
It's just so good.
Yeah, well, IG will do a 2-man smoke towards the top lane. Ferrari and Chuan, they are invisible. They initiate onto Lin. Plenty of stuns to stagger it down. Even the slam dunk coming out. Dragon Knight secures the kill, and well, maybe this time they'll finally have enough to take down this tower. The illusion rune makes it a lot easier as well. Glyph flies. Living Armor will be reapplied. Again, LGD, they make a full rotation. Three team members come in, and IG just happy to back up.
This is brutal. I mean, maybe they're waiting for BKB here on Ferrari. They seem to be afraid of the Timbersaw Invoker. I think that's what it comes down to. As soon as the Timbersaw or the Invoker shows up, they kind of just leave. They're still split pushing out these side lanes.
He just keeps trying.
Dude, he is the little train, or the little engine that could, except he can't. That's how I feel, man.
I mean, I feel bad laughing, but I mean, how many times has Mirana come down, done a solid 200-300 chip damage to this tower to watch it get healed up again? It's a little bit absurd at this point that they just keep tickling the towers. The nice thing for IG, though, is they have a little bit of the late game edge. They're falling behind right now, but now that towers aren't going down, they are finding better farm around the map, holding on to that 500 or 5,000 gold deficit, and the experience gap is actually closing. So they are finding pretty solid farm. Viper and Dragon Knight will scale very well into the late game. Since this Invoker is not Exort, he'll start to get points in it now as he has hit level 11, but he doesn't really do that much damage, and Brew is really powerful right now, but a hero that falls off pretty hard after that Ags comes out. There isn't just not a hero that scales quite as well. So IG are still okay. They've got the Mirana as kind of a semi-carry. He's still trying to find his Maelstrom, but it's not all lost for IG. They're playing this mid-game rather odd, but as we move in to the later portions of the mid-game and eventually into the late game, I think we'll start to see LG's roster shine a bit more. But oh boy, there's your Blink Decker out on tree, and DD has a bit more of a powerful initiation.
Yeah, it looks like YYF going to be going for a BKB as well. Mass BKBs against a team with no stuns is annoying to have to do, but it's just a necessity. And up in the air's fate, they put down a sentry. He's going to get taken down by the EMP.
Yep. Light Shadow still deployed. Lich on the other side of the fissure. Thinking about setting something up. No, IG will just retreat. They'll cut their losses and trade their Dazzle in exchange for nothing. Now the 5-man death ball the other way. LGD moving up the mid lane. Tier 2 tower will be fair game. There is a glyph available. IG still have a hope at making a hold, but all the big cooldowns for IG still available. They've got Chain Frost, they've got EMP coming up, and of course they do have Overgrowth and that Primal Split Stout.
Well, they're going to try to get another tower here mid lane. Glyph is used, but man, they just do not.
The little train, dude, he's still going uphill. He's trucking.
This is honestly, I just feel like I'm getting depressed watching them try to split push these side lane towers. Look, again, the same exact thing happened. Like,
uh-oh, set up in the mid lane, 2-man fissure. YYF TP's in, Chain Frost deployed. He pops the mech. He'll be able to survive the onslaught. Arrow flies through. Will be off the mark, and yeah, a little unfortunate. Chips away at Ferrari. They do hold the tier 2 tower. It's rather low, but now Chuan, he comes too far forward. Cold snap enough to secure that one. And it'll be a free kill going the way of LGD. That makes it 8-6. But the momentum continues.
Yeah, again, this is just weird play by IG. They're not grouping up. They seem to be team fighting rather badly, to be honest. And you know what? Heading into this game, I thought IG might have had the fighting advantage, but they just cannot touch the Invoker Timbersaw combo. And the Brewmaster does a lot of damage. He doesn't have really too much control in fight until he ults, but once he ults, he does a lot of damage as well. And they can't really seem to be able to figure out a way to deal with this. Luaz might be in trouble here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a Mirana
hiding,
sandwich. 9 seconds until the TP scroll comes up. If they find him,
they think he's gone.
He's in trouble. Yeah, they saw the TP scroll, I think, and
yeah.
Well, they think he's TP'd home. So. 5-man rotation from LGD down to the bottom, though. Maybe IG can try and make a hold. They burned the glyph last time. They're all spread about. Mirana will perhaps cut the lane.
He's going to cut the lane and try to get this tower.
He'll try and pull the creeps off, but there's enough creeps here that they can just chunk it down. They don't need this new creep wave coming in. And now he's revealed that he didn't TP home. Purple's coming down. The tree will scout it out. That nice mobile ward blinks forward.
That's disgusting. You can blink and it stays, guys. Jesus.
Yep, tier 2 tower falls, looking for the interrupt. Oh,
he used overgrowth over here.
Oh.
I think he just maybe thought he was around, and he wasn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I hopped back to the tower right as he did it. Lin was TPing in, and that could have been even worse for IG. They've lost all their map control now. They're dire, and still the tier 1 standing in the mid lane. Roche will not be an easy option for them. He'll get slowed, he'll get stunned, and no grave for you, Mr. Dazzle. He will take a spill. That makes it 9-6. And just as I was saying, that gold experience lead was plateauing. LGD are just starting to run away from it.
LGD really just seemed to have outdrafted IG in this point. I mean, it seems like IG, despite having these pretty heavy mid-game teamfight heroes, just can't really touch the lineup of LGD. The BKBs are coming, or very close to being finished here for Ferrari as well as YYF. And if they can't get it done during that time, then things are going to be really rough for them. Roshan going down, though, is going to be a bit of an issue. I think they're going to put this on Lin. He's now going for the Orchid. Yeah, they will chuck an arrow into the pit. Actually smacks Lin in the face. IG starting to rotate in. Roche is not falling that quickly. They don't have any minus armor, so he is rather tanky. But nope, they won't move in. They'll just hand it over for free. Completely uncontested. Invoker the one to grab the Aegis. Looks like he moved into a Force Staff following that mech, and now will take that more traditional route, moving forward into that Oblivion Staff, and eventually will turn it into an Orchid. So I think IG actually could have taken the man fight if they did their Death Ball right around that Dragonite hitting level 8, level 9, but they didn't, and they gave LGD this huge edge, and now they can't take fights just because they're 10,000, 5,000, 10,000 gold, 5,000 experience behind. It's more of a numbers game than a core hero lineup. Timbersaw even close to a Shiva's now. He's so farmed.
2,500 gold after the plate mail, and he has a Bloodstone with 9 charges. This is when Timbersaw gets scary. He's balling out of control, man.
This is when he gets out of hand. This is when your Dragonite even gets scared of him. Like I was talking about, the BKBs are done, and this is really it for IG. If they lose the next fight, there's not really anything they can do. They've been put in this position based on their draft, and now finally they have the items that might be able to deal with it. But I don't know. This is it really for them, I think.
Yeah. Ag Scepter now complete on the Brewmaster, so Primal Split a little bit more potent. Yeah, do a lot more
pretty good upgrade.
Well. Yeah, it really is. You know, you get the Thunderclap, you get the Drunken Haze, and you get the Drunken Brawler on all of your spirits. So you can pop the you basically get a double Thunderclap. That's the big one.
Clap Blink Clap is pretty insane.
Yeah, the double Drunken Haze is pretty good, but the double Clap, it's just a lot of burst damage, and then you have those other abilities as well. Mirana has her Maelstrom, so she's doing a little more damage. Moonlight Shadow as they fake back. IG, they're ready for it. Earthshaker, he's level 9. Looking for the slam dunk. Tree, he is guised up. How is this initiation going to happen? Rabbit goes in. Thunderclap onto 3. Mech gets popped straight away. Overgrowth comes out. BKBs come out as well. Earthshaker first to go down. And now Yao taking a lot of damage. He might be able to make it out. DK, yep, won't be able to finish him off. And Mech brings him back up. Ferrari in the front lines, but he gets cold snapped. He's taking heavy damage. The DK just can't do it. He falls, and it's a bloody disaster for IG. Now they'll go into YYF. They've got a Chakram just ticking him down. He has a mech. He gets graved, but it won't be enough. Maybe they'll get a kill on the Timbersaw. No, the living armor will keep him alive. YYF wants to bring him down. It's all in vain. Now Dazzle trying to bring him down. He gets cut in half by the Razor Blade. falling like Frieza in Dragon Ball Z. It's a 4-for-0 exchange, Greg, and LGD come out way ahead.
Yeah, and you could see when they BKB'd up and tried to kill the Timber Saw. That's the primary source of damage. They didn't kill the Timber Saw during 10-second BKBs. He made it away. They had a good mech to make sure he could stay alive, and even used living armor at the very end there to ensure that he lived. And then they lose their entire team. As soon as the BKBs are done, they just get ripped apart by the Frost Blast, by the Clap, by the Timber Saw. And, well, that was not a convincing fight.
Yes, certainly not for IG at least. Now Mirana is split pushing. Don't worry, he's chipping away at this bottom tower. It has returned to full HP and has a fresh living armor stack. LGD now trying to break the high ground. Fissure comes out, but they will retreat. Timber Saw away, and the tier 3 will stand for now. They're busy defending this bottom tower. Lin's got a TP in. He will repel the little train, and oh, Luo.
Little train that couldn't. It's gonna be the name of the new book, dude.
So, part 2. The train breaks down.
The train has some issues and hits a roadblock. This is just brutal, man. IG just have been put in this position, I think, through their draft. And, well, they've been doing everything they can to come back from it. I mean, their item choices, I think, are pretty good. But without much damage, I don't know, man.
I don't know. This doesn't scream a BKB kind of game to me.
The problem is that you almost have to buy the BKB against the West Invoker, because if you don't, you get impeded and you just can't fight anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
the problem, and then it's a double-edged sword, because I think you need the BKB to fight at all. But then when you buy the BKB, you don't have any damage, you don't have any utility, you just have nothing. And Invoker just
he finds
just
Mirana
got
in
an
the
Orchid
tree.
kill.
Yeah, just cruising around with the Ghost Walk, finds him with Orchid.
And this is what we were talking about at the beginning of the game, and this is what we're used to using, or used to seeing rather. And I'm not surprised that it's working so well. They have such a huge advantage. That's when this is the best.
I think either the Viper or DK needed to get BKB, but I mean, just imagine if they've gotten a Shadow Blade on the DK and then an Ags up on the Viper. They'd have a lot more damage right now. I think they needed one of them as kind of a tempo controller. Maybe the Shadow Blade to initiate on the Invoker, try and lock him down, and then the if it's a panic EMP rather than the Tornado from long range initiation EMP, it makes a world of difference. And they needed someone to initiate and control the tempos, and they don't really have that. I think they were hoping the Earthshaker would be able to do it, but they fell behind so quickly he was never able to get a Blink Dagger. And for an Earthshaker to have a well-timed Blink Dagger,
Did
some
someone
of that
just use their BKB?
Depends on.
Oh my God! Why do I have to just use BKB in base?
Jesus. That's a 9-second BKB charge, and it's on cooldown for 60 seconds now. Oof, that's rough. It'll be coming up just in time for Roche. Oh no, that's pardon me, the Aegis reclaim. Pardon me. I was gonna say, wow, that's an early Roche spawn. No, they've got 1 minute left on the Aegis.
This is just a comedy of errors for IG at this point, and I think Ferrari is going for an S and Y. That's... Oh, it's okay, I guess. I mean, it gives him a little bit of damage. It gives him the Yasha. It's okay, I guess.
I can't imagine this would be a Halberd. I think it has.
I don't. If he buys a Halberd, I don't know who he's gonna use it on.
Yeah,
like Rabbit, I guess, but then you just get. I don't know. That just seems like a waste of money. I feel like it has to be a. Yeah. At least a Sanj. I mean, casual Sanj sounds awful, so I think you just need to make it into S and Y.
Even
casual
so.
Sanj, I think we had a discussion the other day about what the worst completed item is, and Sanj was definitely on that list. So.
It is definitely on that list. If you compare a Sanj to a Yasha, it's a world of difference. Casual Yasha is legit shit. It's so good for farming. You get that movement speed, a lot of damage. Casual Sanj, yeah, you're a little tanky. The Maim is probably the worst proc in the game. It's just useless.
Yeah, you're slowed.
So bad.
Excellent.
But it's not even a big slow, and it's a low chance, and
I guess it's going to be an S and Y. I don't think it's a Halberd. Lin taking a lot of damage, though.
Yeah, he'll get 4-stab back. It's living armored, and he'll be just fine for now. This poison will tick it down, but there's your Overgrowth coming out. They've already popped their BKBs. A lot of damage coming. Faith manages to get off the Shallow Grave. It won't save the Earthshaker. Instant buyback from Chuan. Chain Frost jumping around. Dazzle's the second to fall. Now the Panda's starting to take some damage. They'll back out. Try and position to return back to Panda. The dunk comes. Lin might be the next target to fall. No, he just barely scoots away. Oh, the Maelstrom proc brings him down. Suicide from the Timber Saw as he's about to fall. IG will repel. The buyback from Chuan proves useful there. He gets off a big Echo Slam and helps turn the tides. Now they will continue to pursue. Tree on the back end. Arrow flies in. Does not hit DDC. And Timber Saw, I don't think he bought back. No, he was able just to come back into the fight because he had so many damn Bloodstone charges. Chuan grabs an invisibility rune. Moonlight Shadow on as well. He's on the run. Negative Urn charges coming out. There is a gem up on the tree. And speaking of casual Sanj, he's rocking one right now. There's that 15%, 20% Maim slow.
God, I hope he builds that into something else. That item by itself is pretty underwhelming. I mean, if he just wants to tank up, It only gives him 16 strength, so what's that, like 200 HP? That's just a that's like a really expensive bit booster. So I guess this has to be Ascension Yasha. I don't know if it's gonna do it. It does give him a little bit more damage in fights, which is something they lack, but something like a
this
Timbersaw maybe was okay.
He has a Shivas now and a Reaver. This guy's huge.
I mean, just look at the net worth. He's on top.
14,000. He certainly is. Snake King, watch out. Someone's coming for your title. YYF taking some damage from that Chakram. Tower will fall in the mid lane. A glyph is available for IG. They may still be able to keep their racks alive yet. Ferrari, no Elder Dragon form for 10 seconds. Forced to pop his BKB, but there's the overgrowth straight away. Viper BKB is out of it. Now DD in the front lines, taking some damage from the Viper. Gets living armor off on himself. Yeah, jukes the arrow as well. Whoa, Timbersaw, he gets interrupted as he tries to Timber Chain away. There's your Dragon Tail, and they'll bring him down. That's 850 gold going the way of Mirana. So Luo will be rewarded for his struggles. And looks like, he wants to just take that newfound money, and he's going for it, man. He's got this tower in his sights. Look at this guy.
Oh, God.
He's heading on down.
This is just... I don't know, man. Maybe he's going to have to TP back, like... If LGD decides to push base at this point and he's all the way down there, they could lose the fight by the time he comes back. He needs to heal up, needs to get mana again. Chuan is looking for a Blink Dagger, does not have it yet. Where does the Viper go from here? It's going to be an Ags.
All right, and I think that's a good item on Viper. Obviously,
good item, but what does it really do
at this
LGD's
point? Yeah,
team?
it's great in the mid game. A
40-minute Ags on Viper is not exactly overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly right. Rabbit will get initiated upon the dunk coming in from Chuan. Does basically no damage. EMP flies through as well. Ferrari sold his BKB as well as YYF. All their mana still intact. The mech will get popped for LGD. Now they'll go on to Timber. He gets stunned by the fissure. In comes Rabbit. There's your primal split. They'll go straight on to Ferrari. Man. He is getting taken down quickly. Shallow Grave comes out. They will get the kill on the Timbersaw once again. And down goes the DK. It's a 1-for-1. Still plenty of time left on the Spirits. They'll press forward. No, they won't be able to find another kill.
Disjointed.
Yep. Now, Rabbit. He gets force stabbed down to the low ground. A lot of slows coming out onto him. He'll be okay for now. Now Luo pressing forward. Wants some vengeance on this Brewmaster.
Arrows up. They're gonna Lin might want to turn this around.
Ooh, they'll finish off Rabbit. And who's that up on the high ground? Yeah, it's DD. He does get dusted. He gets scouted out by the Weave.
They got some issues pushing this high ground.
Yeah.
They can't really seem to figure out a way over it, and I think a lot of it is they don't have like Forge Spirits, they don't have Necro Books. When they try to go on the high ground, it's basically just Timbersaw kind of YOLOing up there, trying to kill everyone. They all turn on their BKBs. The good news is that the BKBs are being used so often that they're almost down to their last charge already, which is going to make it way easier to push in. Ferrari's is at 6 seconds. YYF's is all the way down, is at 5, so that one charge in the base, just the difference between them.
Yeah, this is where Earthshaker really starts to shine.
This is Earthshaker's jam.
Yeah, seriously. He likes that bass and tremble, and yeah, he rocks out when you're trying to break into his high ground. He doesn't even have a Blink Dagger yet. He's just been walking in to find these dunks. He's now level 11. Actually doesn't have that second point in Echo Slam. We'll find it down here, and there you go. Now the dunks get that much more potent. 1,200 gold. If he's able to get a blink, Chuan will be able to do some serious work. Here we go. IG, 4-man smoke in the mid. The only one not with them is the Mirana. Roche has respawned. Maybe they'll try to go for it. Double damage rune down to the bottom as well. Could be good timing for them. There's your Halberd out on the Treant. So he's going to up his effective HP quite a bit here as well.
Yeah, it's a really nice item too against the Viper, against DK, even against the Mirana. That he's going to easily find a target for that. Even if everyone's BKB'd up, he can use it on the Mirana. She doesn't have a BKB. She's actually going straight for damage. I favor this a lot. I think the BKB doesn't really help her. You really don't want to have to buy a BKB on Mirana. If you do, you're basically admitting defeat, that your team is way inferior and that you're trying to adjust for it. Honestly, that's just what it comes down to. But she has gone for the Demon Edge, and I think it's their best option for her to just sit in the back and try to mow down the heroes on the side of LGD.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have liked to see this Mirana get the Midas that we were talking about. I think Luo's had enough time to farm 180 CS in 40 minutes that the Midas would have been worth it, and it would have pushed his net worth up a little bit more, and he'd be pretty darn scary right now. Brewmaster will complete an Assault Cuirass, so that will add to their pushing prowess. A little bit of minus armor on those towers, and of course, just an all-around great team fight item. LGD moves straight into the Roche pit. This is second Roche here at the 38-minute mark. No cheese quite yet. IG They may want to opt for some kind of a contest around the Roche pit. They don't have any wards outside of their basement. This is the dire vision we're looking at right now. The entire mini-map completely dark. And looking at the Radiant vision, they've got 4 wards down, 1 inside the base, 1 inside the Radiant jungle, 1 on the the low ground right outside the Roche pit. And yeah, that's an easy Roshan. Aegis goes the way of the Timbersaw this time, as he is their frontliner.
The only issue that I'm really worried about here for LGD is they are losing a lot of charges on this Timbersaw, which makes the Bloodstone much worse. And really, they've just been slamming themselves at this base. They've gotten down the tower. If they don't get the racks soon, it's possible that maybe a little bit of a comeback starts happening. This Mirana is building towards some pretty big damage items at this point. It has decent attack speed from the Mjolnir. They can put the static shield on Ferrari or even the Viper. And, well, they have the makings here to potentially push back on this. They've been doing a good job on their high ground, and a lot of it is going to come down to Chuan's initiation. Unfortunately, he still does not have a Blink Dagger. That would make a huge difference.
Yep, sure would. And YYF just takes a Whirling Death to the face to start things off here. There is a glyph available for IG, and they're still doing a good job holding this high ground. LGD just need to find the opening, and IG aren't giving it to him. They're putting YYF in the front lines. They want them to hop on the Viper, recognizing, of course, he is one of the more tanky of the sorts. Rabbit will get initiated upon. Fissure Arrow does connect. EMP right in the middle of the fray. Only hits the BKB targets. They're trying to bring down the Brew. He pops the ultimate. Now DD gets off the Overgrowth. Chain Frost flying through. It will be a dead Viper. Instant buyback coming from him. Ferrari looks like to be the target of choice. Next, they will be able to bring him down. Whirling Death to the face is more than enough. Moonlight Shadow deployed, but it won't keep the barracks alive. Faith on the retreat. YYF coming in. No Viper Strike for him. There will be an arrow connecting with Yao. He still has the Aegis in tow. LGD will back out for now. Glyph still hasn't been popped. They need to do more damage to these structures. And I don't know. With
the BKBs are down. I think you go for it here.
I think so too. There you go. Force out the Glyph. That's the first step. Lin does get the living armor there. Pops Alacrity on himself. They do want to bring down these structures. Arrow flies right through the fray. Doesn't connect with anyone. And LGD, they'll choose to back out. I don't know that it's the right call here. They're all at full health. They're low on mana, but
I guess they have lost their ultimates, which really helped them a lot in that team fight. And I think that honestly the good news is at this point they know they're in a good place. They put a lot of damage on the range barracks. They didn't waste their time with the melee because they knew that was kind of a sketchy push. But you can see what the effect now is of those 5 and 4 second BKBs. As soon as those are gone, they can't do anything. And honestly, their time is running out. Like, I don't really know how IG are going to fight with these really low BKBs. I feel like the Brewmaster will kind of just tear them apart. The Chain Frost gets a lot better at this point as well. You start taking a lot more damage from it. Well, that's one bit of good news. They have a Blink on Chuan. This is really what it comes down to is, can he get a good initiation and make it so maybe they can kill Rabbit? The other thing is, they spent the first 15 seconds of that fight trying to kill Rabbit, but they mech'd him, they living armored him, they forced him. They just made it so he wouldn't die. So they wasted so much time trying to kill him, and he just ults. And that's the problem with trying to bring down a Brewmaster is if there's a second of the time when he doesn't have an issue, he just ults. And now he's got an AC, which is going to be really great on him.
Yeah, he's had that AC for a while, but YYF was also making good progression on his Ag Scepter. He did buy back in that last fight, so just hang on to the point booster, and now his item progression is completely squandered.
Oh, nice weave. I think they have to back up now.
Wow, connects with 4 of the 5.
You can't really fight into the Dragon Knight with that. And they're thinking about it. They do have the AC, which gives them a lot of extra armor. Actually, they have a lot of armor with this AC. Maybe they don't care.
They have a lot of armor on their core heroes, but Lich needs to sit back a little bit. The Frost armor actually having a big impact here as well to try and inhibit the efforts of Dazzle's weave.
Yeah, now that the weave's gone, holy crap, look how much armor they have.
35 up on the Timbersaw, and 35 up on the Brew.
That's a lot of armor.
Invoker. Yeah, not even all of them have Frost armor as well. Tree with 16 at the moment.
That's 70% physical damage resist.
It's pretty absurd.
This Dragon Knight just does not do anything at that point.
And remember, Yao still has the Aegis. I think he can afford to be a little more aggressive here. They just go for the Primal Split. They'll finish off the range racks. Looks like they just want to truck down the structures. YYF pops his BKB on the Viper, but not much comes of it. There's your blink forward. Overgrowth from the tree. YYF taking heavy damage. Chain Frost comes in. Moonlight Shadow as well. Dazzle and Viper, the first two to fall. IG in big trouble here. Now Ferrari 430 will be the target of choice. EMP goes off. He's got no mana to spare. The dunk from Chuan, but is it enough? The Treant falls. Down goes Litchi as well. Mirana, maybe she can do it. She's starting to pick them off. The gems on the ground. It gets pinged out. The melee racks are still standing. LGD, they'll hold for now. They stun out Yao. They'll be able to pop the Aegis here. Maybe they can take him down again. There are some trees inbound. Oh no, LGD, it wasn't worth it. They needed to decide, did we want the structures or the heroes? Beautifully placed by Luo, but they will let Yao walk away.
Mission accomplished. Unfortunately, they didn't get everything they wanted because Chuan went a ham on them. That was the initiation we're talking about. They group up, blink in, get all the spells out, and just bring down the supports because, you know, we might have a lot of HP on those cores, but Lich and Tree do not have a ton at this point. Tree has been doing a really good job of being patient with the overgrowth, waiting for them to BKB, then popping it, making sure that they are held in place. You don't want them to be able to BKB out of that because that's all the CC really that they have, right? So yeah, you really want to make sure that you can use that. And the fights have been going just fine for LGD. I mean, they're so far ahead. They just throw 20k gold, 15k XP. You can just keep throwing your bodies at the Brax, and eventually it's going to die. As long as nothing catastrophic happens, which it really hasn't. They've been doing okay.
Yeah, this is a cute little courier. I've never seen this guy. The
they
little
call
bulldog
it, you know, they
named
call
Butch.
it Butch, and they call it, I don't know, they had such a good opportunity to call this a Rottweiler.
It's not a Rottweiler.
Yeah, but it's a pudge thingy. It rots. I don't know. They could have added a rot effect. They could have called it a Rottweiler. Come on. How good would that have been? I should be in marketing.
Good.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like his big lips, though. That's adorable. He's drooling all over the place. They're flapping in the wind. Oh, that's the cutest thing. Not as cute as the Naked Regal, but still up there. Luo, back to it. Chipping away at this tower. Down to half health. And nope, they will be repelled. They'll all back out, and he leaps to safety.
One day he'll get this tower.
Maybe.
Maybe not. Though.
IG have still yet to secure a tower kill. All of the tier 1s are still standing, and not quite all at full health, but yeah, they're pretty topped off.
Mirana's finished up the MKB. It's not like there's a butterfly or anything. He's just getting this for the damage. I don't know. I feel like a Midas could have served him pretty well in this game, although it's possible maybe they just get rolled on. I'm not 100% sure. But IG, they're just in full damage control mode, trying to make it so their base doesn't die. And I think we are going to be seeing LGD at this point wait for the next Roshan.
Yeah, I think that's pretty likely here. It'll probably be another... let's see, I'm still having trouble reading this thing.
This is going to be at least
another 2 or 3 minutes or
okay, so the way it works is this flashing part is the random part.
Okay, so it's another minute and then the random
it's another minute to 8 minutes, and then we find out exactly how long it is.
I got you.
This new clock is the worst.
Yep, I'm still getting the hang of it. Yeah, you're right. It's more just... I always have to remember that that's the mark when the initial...
The wow, oh my god, that's a Desolator on Invoker. I don't know when the last time I've seen that is, but... Now he's got 4 and 4. He's got the double force spirits up. They'll help him split push through a little bit. He's got the Desolator to help reduce the armor. And, well, these buildings are not long for this world, Andrew.
Certainly not. I really like the Desolator choice here. They're having trouble breaking the high ground, so what better items to pick up than a Desolator and Assault Kuros? Really makes a lot of sense. And I don't know when this happened, but I just noticed old Litchi here, he's got himself an Aghanim Scepter. So we'll be seeing those unlimited bounces on the Chain Frost. He's also level 16, and that's something to keep an eye out for.
Oh man, I hope he ults the Ancients. There's rock golems down here. Hope he does it. That'll make my life complete. And then Mirana goes down there and tries to farm it, and then just blows up Khan. How good is that?
It's pretty good. I actually haven't seen somebody try to do that in a competitive
I think
game
I've only seen Alliance do that, and it wasn't even... It wasn't really good, but it was funny, that's for sure.
All right. Well, noted. We'll see what they go for here. Timbersaw now has BOTs up, following the Heart of Tarask, Shivas, and Bloodstone, which he snagged earlier on. We've talked about that Desolator on the Invoker. And item progression on the tree. He has that Heaven's Halberd, has a gem, and just a casual Morbid Mask hanging out in that security deposit box.
Mom time, baby.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe we'll see a Radiance come out. You never know.
God. Imagine if they buy Radiance in a legit game. Liquid's going to get much... I don't know. Someone's going to get flamed.
Yeah, someone's getting flamed.
I don't know who it's going to be, but it's going to be someone.
Yep. Mirana is carrying the stolen gem that LGD dropped in the last fight, and she now has an MKB complete. Thought she might be going for a Daedalus, but Mjolnir MKB it will be for the Mirana. And yeah, Luo's really starting to come online. Arrow flies through, does not connect onto the Lich. And LGD just biding their time for now. Let's check out the Roche pit.
That's a Vlads. That's boring.
What a bummer. This is a long Roche timer. We'll have to wait another 2 minutes.
Max duration?
No, not quite, but it's
well, this last thing is, remember, that's 12.
Oh,
so this is right. A 12-tick clock.
This is a max duration.
Yeah, so that's what this is max duration.
This is a max duration.
Is it? 1, 2.
Yeah, it is. It's a minute and a half, and we're halfway
3,
through.
6.
It is.
Oh, well, yeah,
I think so.
That's a long Roshan.
At the very, if it's not max, it's pretty darn close. So LGD will have to play keep away just a little bit longer here. But that's all right. They're still finding a better farm around the map. They have complete map control, so continuing to get further and further ahead. 25,000 gold, now just about 20,000 experience. I don't see any reason why they can't secure this third Roach for themselves once he respawns. And then what will IG do? They do 5-man Moonlight Shadow. Arrow flies in the front lines.
Nope.
And doesn't find Lin.
We're getting some D-ward action moving along here. And
yeah, it's something. They get
slowly establishing control back. A Chrysalis is up for the Mirana. If this goes late enough, this Mirana might be able to carry through the game. I mean, they're only down 1 Rax at this point.
Yeah.
Mirana, like, ultra late, like 55 to 60 minutes, maybe can do enough physical damage to kill them.
The problem, though, is that she just doesn't have any farming tools. If she had a Midas and she was, like, on par with this Timber Saw, I would say that's
a farming tool.
That's more of a possibility. Yeah, Miano's a farming tool, but not like a hand of Midas. She's
No,
already...
I agree.
There's already a huge gap to close. She's about 50% behind the Timber Saw, so even if she hits that 6-slotted spot, LGD still have some room to go before they get 6-slotted on there.
I wonder where Timber Saw goes
Big
from
hard
here.
hitters.
Maybe he gets a Hex.
Yep, Hex would be
pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, Hex. Even a Blade Mail wouldn't be bad here against all that damage Mirana's putting out.
Absolutely, that could be a good choice as well. And oh, now Roshan's going to come back up.
LGD right now are saying, gosh darn it, Bobby. It's the longest respawn possible.
Yeah.
My Hank Hill is not on par with Coddle, guys.
Yeah, not quite. He's got some good impressions.
He really does. I
don't have any of those.
Kind of blown away by that. I don't know, man. I thought I could do voices okay. He takes it to a whole nother level. He's actually good at doing voices.
And look at the full Wex Desolo. Jeez.
Oh, man. Look at that.
That looks awesome.
Alacrity. Invoker's just chunking him, dude. Roche falls. Aegis goes the way of Invoker. Cheese goes to the Timber Saw. So if LGD can't break high ground with this, they've got all these big items.
It's time.
They've got the cheese.
They even have Forge Spirits now.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that no one has picked up a book, but I guess they're just afraid of the Earthshaker.
Yeah, that's true. That does add some more fuel to his fire. I like the Desolator, though.
Deso's sweet. That's some tech. They should be able to get this thing.
I think so, but the Fissure to set it up. Weave as well. Lin taking very heavy damage. Just going to be the end of the Aegis before the fight even starts. It will. Primal Split comes in. And now they'll go on to Ferrari. He's already popped his Elder Dragon form. BKB is out. They will just start to chunk down the barracks. Glyph is available for IG. They might be able to make a hold here. Down comes the Meatball. Glyph, they'll just hold it. They'll drop their melee racks. And now they'll go on to YYF, taking heavy damage. Yao pressing forward. BKB pop before he goes down. There's the Overgrowth. I don't know why he saved the BKB for that, but he will fall in the end. Instant buyback coming from YYF. Yao trying to make the retreat. He'll get stunned. And he may be forced to eat his cheese here if he wants to survive. The dunk coming in from Chuan off to the side. Yao pops the cheese. He's okay. Chuan gets dropped. He'll buy back as well. Now Faith gets off the grave. He'll try and TP back out. He'll make it back to the well. The dots won't be enough to bring him down.
Oh, Sunstrike from Lin. Got him in the top. Got him in base. Does not need. Man, that was just, that's my favorite thing.
So LGD, they take a pretty convincing team fight, but it's they forced 2 buybacks, but it cost them their Aegis as well as their cheese.
I mean, they don't have great. Honestly, they don't have anyone who can just high ground, so they just send the person up with the Aegis and whatever. I mean, they got the building, and they're in a good spot now to take another one. Dazzle's actually a pretty key component to this. It lets the Viper put out a lot more damage for a longer period of time. And, well, without that Dazzle, I'm not sure they're going to be able to hold this tower. Look at this, just going down so easily. The Invoker just going to work here. And now YYF, I don't think he has his BKB. He does have the BKB back up. I guess that's the good thing about having a 4-second BKB.
But Rax will fall. IG, they don't even use the Glyph here to keep them alive. Oh no, melee Rax will go down. The Desolator just hits too hard. And now things looking very grim for Invictus Gaming. LGD back out. But I don't think there's any way that IG can turn this one around.
Yeah, now that they've lost 2 sets of racks, it's not looking great. It's not looking great. Mirana's farm is going to get way turned down now. She's going to be one of the people who has to push this out with the Mjolnir. It's decent for clearing the big creeps, but I don't know, man. This game is hard now for IG.
Yeah, it was hard earlier, but LGD now upwards of 30,000 gold, almost 30,000 experience in their favor. I just don't see any way. What can IG do here? Dagon even being picked up on the Timber Saw. Forget about the Hex, Greg. He's got lasers.
Full YOLO.
Level 3 Dagon picked up straight away.
I hope he has a high level compendium, because then you get the purple Dagon.
Oh,
It's badass.
I am looking forward to seeing that. I hope he has one too.
Have you not seen that yet?
I have not seen
God,
a purple
it's so
Dagon
cool.
yet.
It's so cool.
Ooh, daddy. Actually, now I've got something to look forward to.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
Well, this is one of these games that it's pretty darn over.
You know
why did IG not use the glyph though? That's what I don't understand.
Because they thought they were gonna go for tier 4s. I think.
Okay, but
That's not a great reason.
I mean, at that point, you've already lost Rax. They're killing your tier 4s.
I mean, I didn't say it was a good reason to save it. I just said I think that's why they saved it.
It just seems weird right there. I mean, one lane of Rax, you're okay. I see why they didn't burn it for that melee. That lane's already getting pushed in, but you had a tier 3 down bottom. They had an opportunity to make that one last stand, and it's one of those, even if you don't burn it, and you're saying, well, we'll save it for this last lane of the tier 4s, it's already crippling damage. Here we'll see what could be the last fight. Arrow flies through, will be off the mark. Ferrari pops his ultimate. They're in the front lines, clearing up the creeps pretty effectively, but this is double siege creeps. Now they pop forward. Panda pops the ultimate. YYF burns his BKB as well. He's in retreat mode. Moonlight Shadow comes out, but they're just chunking down the tower. Invoker knows how much damage he does. Glyph still available. The tower's already fallen. In comes the dunk from Chuan. It tickles, but doesn't do much more than that. The meatball flies from up top. Chuan gets the shallow grave from Faith, but Viper falls. Dazzle falls as well. Pew Pew Studio just pieces out before the GG, and there you go. Finally, IG tap out. LGD secure the win in the first game of the night.
Yeah, it took them a while to really close that game out, but, you know, I think it had been won for quite a while. IG have not been able to take an objective for the entire game. I mean,
they didn't get a single tower.
They did not get a single tower. That's nearing naked lap territory. That's, man, that's just not great, but...
Yeah, you can see IG here not looking so happy. Those are disappointed faces. He looks like, what happened? I thought Dragon Knight was good against Treant Protector, guys.
I think he realized that that draft did not work for them.
Yeah, and LGD, they don't even look too excited here, but oh man, what a game one, Greg. 54 minutes of gameplay.
That was a long one.
And,
you know,
sure was.
If Ben was here, he would have been telling them to GG out.
Yes, he absolutely would have.
I mean, there was a chance, I think, right up to the point where they lost the second lane of Rax. As soon as the second lane of Rax is gone, the amount of farm you can actually get is just so much lower that I'm not sure there's really a way to take care of that.
Yeah. I agree. So, obviously, IG, the heavy favorites coming in here. Rares could be lost, Gregor. If LGD take out Game 2 of this game, or the best of 2 series, then...
What was the spread on that
I think it was like 23-77, something like that.
I mean, I'm not... Yep. Yeah, it was. 27-73.
Okay, 27-73. I had it transposed.
I mean...
Here we go. Wait. Oh, it was Yao. I missed it, but Yao was the player of the game.
The
Timbersaw
MVP.
style. Yeah, MVP. That's what I was saying.
Timbersaw did a lot of work that game. He was really successful. He didn't really have any issues in that off lane. I don't really know.
He was huge.
I think I would just chalk that one up to a draft loss.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I think it was almost more an execution loss. I think they could have done work in the mid game, but they never grouped up. I don't remember IG in that mid game ever really grouping up around the back of that Dragon Knight. They kept trying to split push. I mean, Luo went for that bottom tower at least like 6 times, got healed up. They did a little chip damage up top, and to credit LGD, they were on point with just rotating around, quelling the pushes, and using living armor. So
yeah,
it's a mixture of both, I'd say.
I would say maybe, I think the idea was that they thought they would get shredded in the team fights by the Shredder. Well, that was...
The Shredder.
That worked out pretty well, huh?
Gregor.
But, you know, I would have liked to see them try it.
Yeah.
Because what they were doing was clearly not working.
Murata just doesn't push fast enough.
Dude, that was the saddest goddamn Murata ever. She's like, I'm going to get... Fuck, it's full HP.
Chapter 3, the little train explodes.
Chapter 3. The tower's still alive.
Oh, boy. So we'll have a quick break, guys, and then coming up next will be Game 2 between LGD versus Invictus Gaming. I'm Zyori. This guy is What Is Hip. Get at us on Twitter, at WhatIsHipTV and at ZyoriTV, as well as at Beyond the Summit. 2 of the 3 are in the title of this broadcast. You'll have to find out which 2. We'll be back after this break, guys.